Good evening and welcome to Prime News on My Major Prime, presented by BLANCHE Peldrine Blanche King. As promised, we have the updates, or today's edition of the news has updates on the burial of former Prime Minister Simon Achidi Achu. He was buried on Saturday, the 3rd of July, 2021. But before he was finally laid to rest, he was decorated with the Medal of the Grand Cordon of the National Order of Merit. The distinction was conferred to him, of course, during the official burial, which took place in his native Santa over the weekend, as our reporter Fon Quinta tells us in the report that follows.
Thousands of mourners turned out at the Santa ceremonial ground in the northwest region of Cameroon on Saturday, July 3rd, to bid farewell to statesman Simon Achidi Achu, who died at aged 87.
The loss of power is not a loss for the Santa people, it's a loss for Cameroon. Because it was one prime minister who was so generous to every person. Power will meet even a madman who will stand to ask, what's your problem now? His last 1,000 he give to that madman. And tell him to see whether I can get 1,000 someone put in his pocket. Power will not want to see any child who is not going to school. In fact, I used to prepare school fees bills for Power. I'll prepare bills for about 10 million for children. But Power's unborn children, they're not up to 2 million. The rest drop out. The rest are people who have lost the parents. They come to Power, want to go to school. My father died. My mother died. But I want to go to school. What do Power do? Power say, come, give you a place to stay. You eat free. He pays your school fees and you go to school. One thing I learned from Power is that it is easier for him to admit his student to be driven from school for school fees than an orphan.
Leading the tributes during the official burial ceremony decreed by President Paul Biya was Prime Minister Dr. Joseph John Gute, who decorated the statesman with Medal of the Grand Cordon of the National Order of Merit.
The Right Honorable Simon Achidi Achu, in the name of the President of the Republic, and by virtue of the powers conferred upon us, we raise you to the dignity of Grand Cordon of the Cameroonian Merit posthumously.
An ecumenical service followed before tributes from authorities, family and friends who traveled to pay their last respect to the fallen statesman, described as a man of peace who was committed and devoted, always putting the interests of the country at heart. A condolence message from the presidential couple read by Northwest Governor Adolphe Lelafrique described the fallen statesman as a level-headed politician, hardworking and intelligent. The funeral of late Simon Achidi Achu was attended by a plethora of personalities and dignitaries from across Cameroon who joined family to lay him to rest in his native Santa, Mesam Division, Northwest region of Cameroon.
The brutal murder of a young businessman in Bamenda Northwest region has spread wild condemnation and protest staged in many parts of various neighborhoods in Bamenda. According to these angry youths, enough with the targeted killings since the escalation of the Anglophone crisis in the two English-speaking regions of the country. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, daughters, and sons have been killed, and nothing seems to have been done so far. Details in the following report compiled by Eileen Sama.
The brutal murder of Goran Jibril Dubila in broad daylight on Sunday, July 4, 2021, has caused an outrage both online and in cities across Cameroon, especially in the neighborhood in Bamenda, where he was allegedly shot dead by a military officer at close range where he had carefully parked his vehicle. The inhabitants of Ofonche Street, upon receiving the news, immediately took to the streets to denounce the brutal act perpetrated on a peaceful, kind, loving and well-known inhabitant of the Foncha Street neighborhood in Bamenda 3 subdivision Northwest region, parading the streets with his cup, mourning with peaceful plans and chanting sorrowful songs.
Not die body this some man when a quarter man for below Foncha here. We don't come out the camp for inside moto. Military people they shoot them. We no get no motive. For inside your own quarter, you no get no motive. Inside own quarter, military people they shoot them. This Sunday, during a Sunday 4th of July, they shoot this or kill them. I will youth them go below Foncha don't come out. Say military can't talk why the key.
According to sources, the popular business tycoon in Bamenda, Abril Dubila, had just returned from Belgium and was going about his life peacefully until he met his ordeal that fateful day at checkpoint Foncha Street. His brutal killing also led to the setting ablaze of the military checkpoints at below Foncha Street by the infuriated population. It is worth mentioning that Abril posted a comic statement on Facebook and few hours later met his demise, leaving friends, family members, and many others in total shock. The reason for his brutal murder is yet to be established, but investigations are going on in Bamenda, Cameroon.
At least 6 individuals are currently under intensive medical care after a fatal road accident recorded over the weekend at the Bonabo neighborhood here in Douala. Reports say the vehicle diverted from course, entering nearby buildings, destroying properties and injuring at least 5 persons on ground. Details in the following report. This is what is left of a Prado vehicle involved in a fatal road accident which occurred over the weekend around Bonabo here in Douala. According to witnesses, the vehicle from Bonamusadi lost control and moved out of the road into nearby buildings where it finally collided with an electricity pole. Apart from the material damages recorded, a total of 6 individuals, including the driver of the Prado vehicle, were badly injured. Sources say the car violently entered a beauty salon with 5 persons inside. These 5 people included the hairdresser, her apprentice, her client, and her 2 children. The occupants of the beauty salon were pulled out of the ruins of the car. All 6 individuals are currently in the hospital for medical attention. At the time of this report, 3 of the 6 individuals were in critical condition. Inhabitants of these neighborhoods say this is not the first time an accident as such is occurring around the same stretch. Thus, they call on individuals to be careful and vigilant while using this stretch. Meantime, forces of law and order have opened investigations to get the real cause of the accident. About 600 absentee secondary school teachers across the national territory, with about 300 from the restive northwest and southwest regions of the country, have been summoned by the government. The teachers will have to resume duties or face sanctions, as Nora Kakebi tells us.
Cameroon government has embarked on a crackdown on absentee teachers who still earn salaries without delivering the job. The country's Minister of Secondary Education, Professor Pauline Nalova-Lyonga, has therefore published a list of 600 school teachers who have abandoned their teaching responsibilities in search of greener pastures while still receiving their pay packages in the country. Recently, a 15-page document was published with complete details of the identities of the runaway teachers, including their matricule numbers, duty stations, their grades, as well as their current destinations. The Northwest region recorded the greatest number with 264 out of the 600 absentee teachers, while the Southwest records a total of 58 ghost teachers. Ever since these 2 regions of the country became affected by the armed conflicts with kidnappings, brutal killings and outright terror, and teachers as targets, most of them ran away for safety. The minister has called on all the absentee teachers, not only in the restive regions, but throughout the country, to report to the Ministry of Secondary Education and do so with all supporting documents to justify their absence. She added that disciplinary sanctions will be taken against them if they fail to comply.
His Royal Majesty Fonazefo III of Nkwen, accompanied by some queens, queen mothers and notables, visited Mayor Chinwe Peter over the weekend with a congratulatory message and words of encouragement. Fonazefo III poured royal blessings as he welcomed developmental projects to be carried out, or that will be carried out by the council. Charles Kibwa tells us more in the following report.
It was a colorful event Friday, July 2nd, 2021 at the residence of Mayor Chinwe Peter that pulled some municipal and regional councillors of the Bamenda 2 Council, friends and family members as His Majesty Fonazefo III, son of Nkwen, accompanied by some queen mothers and notables, paid a visit to Mayor Chinwe and family to congratulate and encourage his achievements as Mayor of Bamenda 2 Council.
Here with the queens, mothers, and the notables to, first of all, give a message of congratulations to the Lord Mayor of Bamenda 2, Dr. Peter Chinwe. We are here particularly to encourage him and also to give him royal blessings to carry this powerful and the most biggest council in the Bamenda Central.
Mayor Chinwe Peter is subject to the fondom of Nkwen. Bamenda 3, Fonazefo III's visit was also to share with the family's pain and burden gone through as a result of the ongoing socio-political crisis that led to the burning down of their family residence at Ntaseng Nkwen, pouring his royal blessing on the mayor and family to cleanse all the mishap that has befallen them. Receiving his royal blessing, Mayor Chinwe Peter, on behalf of his family, described the Fon's visit to their home as a blessing with joy, handed a message of gratitude and goodwill to the Fon, and gifts to the queen mothers. It should be noted, since the takeover of Mayor Chinwe as mayor of the Bamenda 2 Council under the ticket of the CPDM, much has been done in terms of development. Traditional dances grace the day.
We stay in the northwest region of the country. The Adeza and Anyere Foundations organized a healthcare awareness campaign followed by the distribution of nose masks to fight against COVID-19 in the country, especially as the country is battling the second wave of the virus. This campaign, championed by the foundation and officials of the Bamenda Regional Hospital, took place over the weekend. Charles Kibwa reports from the northwest region.
A health awareness, sensitization campaign and distribution of face masks to fight the deadly coronavirus took place in Bamenda, 2nd to 4th July 2021. The healthcare awareness campaign by Adeza Muma and Anyere Stephen Foundation, after the passing away of some family members of theirs as a result of COVID-19, as a family decided to stand up and fight the deadly pandemic. The health awareness campaign took the foundation to Nkwen, Ntarinkun, food markets and main market of Bamenda, including churches in Jimafo, Mbatu, Usongwa and Chumba.
We will take this COVID-19 seriously. No be witchcraft as some people that they call them. It be real. And because of the pain we don't go through, we don't really want other people to go through that pain.
Given many persons are now relaxed in respecting preventive measures to fight the deadly pandemic, the Adeza Muma Foundation plea for proper wearing of face masks and respecting social distancing, including all necessary preventive measures prescribed by health experts and the government.
We don't know who you are, especially people the way they can't buy things for water. These people. Getting man big as a people, no a big. Be careful as you go towards him if you get down. Please, wash your fingers fine. Keep the hair sanitizer as So what you're meant to find, you said I'm not what I'm
accompanied by health officials from the Bamenda Regional Hospital through the healthcare awareness talks as well, seized the opportunity, shared their story to let the population be aware COVID-19 pandemic is real and kills, and for the population to protect themselves by getting vaccinated.
You're watching for 6:30 Prime News on My Major Prime. Students and staff of Royal Bilingual College in Dombok Douala have received some learning materials offered them by the Lord My Shepherd Foundation, a humanitarian organization geared towards improving the lives of individuals across the globe. Dolingonde was part of this campaign, and she compiled the following.
In line with its objective of promoting quality education for all, members of the Lord My Shepherd Foundation, under the leadership of the founder and president Peter Forikik and wife, have offered 10 monitors, 10 central processing units, alongside other related compartments in a bid to boost the level of RCT acquisition, starting from students of the Royal Bilingual College in Dokpom.
I was here in 2019 when I visited the school. I said I was going to come back to them to see how we can help them. That is why we are trying to fulfill our promise today to donate these computers so that the students can use it, since technology have dominated the world in all aspects.
Moving away from the pre-existing problem of 8 students is to 2 computers during their practical sessions, the appreciative students also confessed this kind gesture will go a long way in enabling them maintain the 1.5 meter social distancing expected of them in compliance against the spread of the killer pandemic COVID-19.
I want to thank the Lord My Shepherd Foundation for bringing us new computers. These computers that you see here will help us reduce the risk of coronavirus by helping us respect social distances.
Computer helps us to carry out research, to carry out our computer practicals, and help us in our education.
There was not enough computer for us to work with it. This one I want to say thank you to the Lord My Shepherd Foundation to provide us with computer.
On his part as the school's computer master, Mr. Bassi also had this to say.
This has really been a challenge with regards to the proportion of students as to the computers that we have. You know, computer is one of the fields that involve a lot of practice.
While officially handing over the set of computers in the presence of the parents, students and staff of Royal Bilingual College, Mr. Valentine, country manager of the Lord My Shepherd Foundation, also revealed more of such donations are pregnant in the nearest future, while urging the recipients to make good use of their gifts. And on behalf of the entire school body and the parents, the principal of Royal Bilingual College and the president of the Parents Teachers Association PTA took turns in appreciating their donors respectively.
We want to call the Lord My Shepherd Foundation for the good gesture that they have done for us by equipping us with new brown computers that will really help us in our mission. That is 1 student, 1 computer.
Nous voulons demander à nos parents, nous qui sommes des parents, de vraiment mettre l'accent sur l'informatique.
Barely a few years of its existence, the Lord My Shepherd Foundation continues putting smiles on the faces of many while changing lives across the world.
Following recent decision obliging Yaoundé city dwellers to paint their houses or buildings white or yellow, announced recently by the city mayor Jean-Luc Messia Tangana, inhabitants have expressed their views and stance as regards the possibility of this idea. They expressed their ideas or opinions on various platforms. Audrey Zatsa gathered these opinions and compiled the following report.
Announced on July 30th, the measures taken by the Yaoundé City Mayor Luc Metia Tangana has been the subject of strong criticism on social media. In Yaoundé, there are heaps of garbage at almost all crossroads in the city. The situation has been ongoing for several months now, and the city council is doing nothing. All they can say is ask people to paint their houses. This Facebook user stormed. Another sees the mayor's decision as a comedy, arguing that the country has more pressing issues. The next proposes that conditions of the Yaoundé City Council with the public toilets, structures, existing sidewalks and roads should be evaluated first before such decision. While many are criticizing, a few believe that this initiative will make the city look beautiful again. In this communique signed last Friday, 30th July, Luc Messia Tangana was inviting owners of buildings located at the city capital to paint them in oak yellow, white, carry out systematic weeding and cleaning, as well as prohibiting the drying of clothes on balconies of buildings and houses, a decision in connection to the African Cup of Nations, which the country is preparing to host. Worthy of note is the fact that on November 2020, Prime Minister Head of Government Joseph John Gute called on the mayor of Yaoundé to work on the sanitation of the political capital.
The National School of Local Administration has graduated about 148 students with a call for them to push forward for decentralization process. This call was made by the Secretary General at the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development. Clarice Okowe has more in the following report.
For 2 years, these trainees from ex-CEFAM have undergone training in different fields of regional and local authorities, including general administration, finance and human resources management. Today, 148 of them, both from Seku 1 and Seku 2, are graduating after completing 3 semesters of theoretical training and 1 month of internship, through which they have been evaluated and proven fit to enhance the decentralization process across the 10 regions of Cameroon.
The Director General of NASDA just said that we are experts, and I just confirm that we are experts of territorial decentralized community, so we are already gathered from the school. I'll go further to bring more changes in my council, because in revenue collection, the general administration, in writing administrative letters.
Representing the minister, the Secretary General at the Ministry of Decentralization and Local Development, Fred Omakole, urged these graduates to be assiduous, professional, and show a sense of service in executing their decentralization duties across the national territory.
They are awaited in local and regional councils. They must serve there with engagement. They must with probity. We must promote good governance in our local and regional council.
Despite the setback brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Director General of NASLA, Tanyiku Eno Achubaye, in a speech noted that the graduation of these trainees is a proof of their probity and diligence.
The government created a school like NASLA to train these brilliant students. So my plea was for a mechanism to be put in place for the specialties that are trained in NASLA to be transitioned directly into the local and regional authority.
It is worth noting that NASLA, which is born from ex-CEFAM, was created in March 2020 to improve on the management and the regional training of local authorities, who are in turn expected to enhance the decentralization policy through the various councils.
Thanks, Ekowe Clarice. In church news, Reverend Donwe Peter has been inducted into office as a Presbytery Treasurer for the East Mungo South Presbytery and same-time parish pastor of the PC Newtown Airport congregation. The Dua ceremony was officiated by Reverend Jones Ebot Ayok, Presbytery Secretary for East Mungo South. Dolingonde reports.
It was an all-round blissful Sunday service here at PC Newtown Airport, Douala, as the congregants sang and danced with joy and enthusiasm in reception of their new parish pastor, the Reverend Donwe Petershu, who also doubles as Presbyterial Treasurer for the East Mungo South Presbytery of the Presbyterian Church in Cameroon. In his capacity as Presbytery Secretary for the East Mungo South Presbytery, the Reverend Jones Ebot Ayuk, while drawing inspiration from the book of Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 to 4a, urged the newly inductee to be assiduous, steadfast, and resilient in his service to the Lord and mankind, just like Abraham of old.
With his years of experience, he will be able to lift up the spirits of this congregation. We have no doubt that the Reverend Donwe is more than capable to do all of these and much, much more.
Born on October 27, 1964 in Bafut, the Reverend Dongwe Peter Shu is the 13th pastor of this congregation, coming back for the second time after 20 years. And as the 4th Presbytery Treasurer for the East Mungo South Presbytery, much is expected of him.
This is a refined man of God we have received today. A refined man of God because of so many things. Spiritually, he's filled. Physically, he interacts easily with people. So as a good pastor, these are the qualities we always look for in good leaders, and he has all the qualities.
Ended by an Inter-Presbytery College of Pastors, both state and non-state dignitaries, the congregants amongst others, the event was also highly animated with a diverse genre of musical display and dancing as family members, friends and well-wishers showered the newly inducted pastor and wife with their gifts. In appreciation, the inductee also assured the congregants that, with the help of the Holy Spirit, he stands prepared to brave the odds.
Well, I want to thank God, first of all, for the weather and for the population. As far as the challenges are concerned, it is not me who is going to do the work, but I strongly believe that with the Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit guiding me, I'll be able only to do what I can do.
Before the end of the ceremony, close to $1 million francs CFA was raised by the congregants and attendees under the banner of the chief celebrant, the Reverend Jones Ibut Ayuk, with the aim of enabling the newly inducted pastor in running the affairs of the congregation currently facing some minor issues.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your attention. See you tomorrow, same time, God willing, at 6:30 Cameroon time for another edition of Prime News on My Major Prime. Lasha Kingsley coordinated this edition of the news produced by EWANE Airline NOLINGA. My name is Genda Peldrigne Blanche King. Stay tuned to My Major Prime at 7 p.m. We'll enjoy a new edition of Prime Hour with Kum Lunad and his crack team of analysts. Happy viewing. Good night.